Hello everybody, what's up? Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 Kill Team channel on YouTube, unless of course you are aware of any other Kill Team channel on YouTube, in which case, don't look into it, thank you. Hi, what's up? It's the opening 10 minutes of stream, so I'm not going to say anything of note, but I will read chat. I say it like I sometimes say things of note. Don't know what I was thinking on that one actually, that's clearly ridiculous. Eddie and Kaz are in chat, hello. So is Jay, hello again. My girlfriend, how are you? Ian, good to see you, my man. Oh, I should probably actually read the chat, shouldn't I? That's what people come here for. Crimson Bunny, hello, hello, hello. Free Typhon giveaway, he claims. Yeah, let me know where that link is. I will enter it too. Good evening, Andy. I shall be building a Tarrasque whilst watching. That is for D&D, not Warhammer. That's why I don't know what it is. Is a Tarrasque a giant turtle? My photo was used, yes. Obviously you've watched my Patreon video. Although I post about it a lot, since it was used, I really only do that because I need some content to post at times. I don't actually overly care about my thing being used, but I will be talking about the hobby I've done lately. That's always a good way to begin a stream, discuss hobby, right? I assume that all of you are doing some hobby, in fact. What is that hobby? And my girlfriend's here, who is not late for once. And apparently she's feeling good, which is great. Hello. Free Typhon. Hello, Miko. Count Porro says, I'm so happy I managed to snag a box of Typhon. Pre-order before it's sold out. Yes, very... For the last few items that I've wanted for pre-order, which I knew were going to be hot topic items, I didn't even attempt to go for, like, my local game store. I just went straight to GW because I knew that sells out the slowest, you know? And I was there 10 minutes before, and I just... Fingers crossed, right? And a double hello to Chase as well. I should probably do... Hey, if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big subscriber-only benefit, and there's a big double hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds to the world of Glass Half Dead. What is a double hello? Well, it is a pleasantry that's given to you twice. And who wouldn't want a pleasantry twice? There you go. Sometimes it flows from me because I said it every video for 3 years. Despite the fact I haven't said it for like the last year. Yeah. Dante says I have to wait 3 weeks for both my... But you got 2 copies? Honestly, not too shabby. You love the Tarrasque. It's massive. Bigger than a Storm Raven. It's more like Godzilla. There was a giant turtle, which I also own, but I haven't built yet. Lovely. Love giant beasts. Because in my head, I can pretend they're Pokemon. It's a thing. Don't worry about it. Splitting a box with a buddy. But are you taking the NIDS or are you taking the AdMech? We know you're taking the NIDS. Don't know why I asked, but... Bill, hello. Good evening from Germany. Good evening from the UK, where next weekend it's going to be 30 degrees and I'm terrified. Tabletop Impulse says hobby K2SO for Shatterpoint because apparently that's what I do now. Yes, Tabletop Impulse there is of course a Shatterpoint channel. If you want to check out some Star Wars Shatterpoint, check him out. Have ordered Typhon though. Oh, for your wife, of course. Yes. Looking forward to using the BT Ancient as AOD Assault Sergeant, the ultimate in modelling for disadvantage. Yeah, I just saw that pop up and I'm dubious, if I'm honest. I'm not... I don't like anything I saw there, but hey, cool. Just building 2 impulsors for your Ultramarines army. 2 impulsors? Better than 1. Oh, but then we've had a 1.99 super chat from Academic Chris, who's getting lunch with his wife. But we'll be back. So obviously that means, hey, firstly, Hydratus Dominatus, as is proven by my t-shirt. There we go. But also, hey, if you like what I'm doing here, all that good stuff, all that jazz, do consider, you know, supporting me in certain ways. Every time you do, that will go straight towards my Hydratus Dominatus fund, my hydration fund. I drink far too many Cokes, so I should have said I do too much coke, shouldn't I? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you very much. Hey, one of the best ways to support your friendly local creator, you could directly give money on Patreon. You could buy some of the Kill Team affiliated equipment, but also almost every YouTuber just has affiliate links with like their local game stores. If you click on those, it doesn't cost you any more, but that affiliate link will give your creator a kickback. Those have actually been super useful streams for me now that I push them in every single video. Turns out, weirdly, it works. I don't mention my Patreon anymore, really, and I don't push it, but because of that, I don't get many new patrons. But I've been pushing the affiliate links because it makes me more money. So consider clicking on your favorite YouTubers' affiliate links. There you go. Zen Rush, what do you think could make good proxies for the teams? So I've actually just... Can I show this? No, I can't. My patrons have seen it in the Discord. I've just made a thumbnail for exactly that topic. Yes. I think I've... What have I called it? I can't even remember what I called it. Let's see what I've called that. I clicked the wrong thing. Jesus. What a boomer. Or a zoomer. They're both terrible. What have I called it? Here we go. Oh, Typhon availability sucks, but there's a cure. And it's just going to be me giving different proxy ideas, especially now that I actually have the models, so I can take some models, measurements next to, you know, things, and actually say, oh yeah, this could be this or this could be that. For me, I kind of already said it because I've obviously already done a proxy video. And I would think for Raveners, you want to be looking at some of the Necrons. So either Wraiths or Ophidian Destroyers. I think they're both great options. For Admech, I don't know. I'll think about it. Who knows? Necromunda stuff. Got charged by PayPal for the GW Resp. It was removed from my basket after it posted, but I was lucky at the local shop today. Ooh. Well, I hope you managed to get one and also not lose extra money. No needs for me. Yeah. No needs, very cringe, but okay, Chase. You got to do what you got to do. You got to love what you love in life. Already had 34 degrees this weekend. That wasn't in England, right? Was it? Yeah, okay. I don't think it was. DS, hello, sir. I saw in one of your videos you said you released a lore video on Typhon. For the life of me, I cannot find out. Would you mind telling me the title? So all of my videos haven't released yet. We've just had the narrative rules released today. And later this week, I'm going to do the battle report on Glass Half Dead. Because, of course, you have all already seen the battle report over on Tactical Skew by now. And then, at some point, I will release the read-through of the lore. There you go. So, can't just spunk it all out at once, you know? You got a bit of a refactory period, if you will. Been hammering your affiliate links recently. Thank you so much, Kaz. Genuinely helps so much. And you know, like legit, I know you're UK. I use both Element and Wayland, so I'm more than happy to say those are good shops to buy from. I can tell you the pros and cons of each shop. I buy from them so much, you know. Steven says, hi Andy, in one of your videos you mentioned solo or co-op rules felt like playing against yourself without spoiling your video later this week. Is Typhon's co-op a success? Yeah, it does some interesting things. So it doesn't add a initiative system, which to me is mandatory, in my opinion. But it does add like Typhon events. It has little Typhon event decks, which I think is very good. You know, just any sort of way that you can add in a mechanic that you don't control as the solo player, I think is good. Yeah. So it adds to it, although I still think you need to do your own initiative system. Jim says, happy Monday. He also says kids, and so therefore I feel perhaps does not understand the demographic of Warhammer players, but that's fine. Super happy I finished a hobby project, got 10 tiles built, based and sprayed. So happy. Don't know what a tile is, but love it. How does it feel to be the most handsome host of a Kill Team channel, unless you know of any other host? Well, that's a man that knows how to use my catchphrase. I like it. Before I carry on, I am going to quickly talk about my own hobby, because I've done some hobby. Can I shrink my thing without? Yeah, okay. So you know me, I like buying stuff. I don't know, don't know if you know that, but I like buying stuff. So I bought some 40k terrain. There's a a Kickstarter. It was, I think, I don't know, which was by the Zali factory, Taxali, don't know. I've used their bases lots, and I've just bought it off some randomo off Etsy, who was in Spain because he just had it the cheapest, including shipping, and I didn't care how long it took to get to me. So it arrived today, and I just quickly sprayed it up with 2 greens, a silver and a white. And now all I'm going to do is give the whole thing a drenching of green, and that's going to be a full 40k board painted in, I don't know, I didn't time myself, but an hour and a half, maybe, let's say 2 hours, not including drying time, right? But yeah, there you go. So super quick, super easy, obviously. And I just thought, the little lighter green and white spots is going to, once are then tinted with green, are going to be really interesting for me. However, part of the reason I like this is because it folds down into this. So you see all of these fold in half. It goes boom. Look at that, lovely. So it's eminently carryable. That was kind of the big draw for me. I like being able to carry stuff. That's cool. I'm sure there was a really useful box that will fit delightfully into. I then have done some more orcs. This is going to be my Wrecker crew. I don't have the knob yet. I don't play without... You know where that's going. Anyway, so I took some Iron Jaws models, and then just also had the Wrecker crew bits left over and smashed them together. I like them because if you go back and look at my Brutal and Cunning reviews, you will see me say, even there, so it's not like my thoughts have changed over time, that I really love the new orc models in general. They're much more angular and cartoony, but I really like that. However, the Wrecker crew were the actual big miss for me in the new lineup of orc models. And so to get these guys, the Iron Jaws Ard boys look awesome, in my humble opinion. And the Wrecker crew did not. They were the biggest fail sculpt of the new wave of orcs for me. So I thought I'd fix that. And if you recall, some months ago, this Stormbringer magazine did 10 Iron Jaws for like £10. Mad. And I managed to get hold of 3. So I've got 30 Ardboy bodies to turn into Wrecker crew. And that's the Wrecker crew. But then also I had some orcs lying around. So this is a box of looters and burners, obviously, because I only need the weapons, including the Wrecker crew. And then also there's just a bunch of missile guys I have lying around. So I did some missile guys as well. And then I did some Grey Knights. So let me tell you what I'm envisioning here. Okay. Grey Knights are mini Marines and they look dumb, right? We all know that. That's the cold take. I then wanted to make them look good. How do you do that? First of all, dynamic models. So you need your assault intercessors and your jump pack and jump pack intercessors. And I thought jump pack intercessors, they'd look perfect as like, I don't know, like you're jumping. So they'd be good for interceptors, or inceptors, I think they're called. Hence, I give them the Inceptor backpack. And then the normal assault intercessor bodies I can turn into just regular strike marines. But currently I'm working on the inceptors because there's only 5 jump pack bodies. So there you go. I'm doing that. And of course I'll be doing Alarus Terminators for Custodes as Grey Knight Terminators. And that's that. There you go. I just did these about an hour ago. So they're fresh off the spray booth. Yeah, I don't know. I think they turned out okay. Their arms are covering a lot of messed up bodies. Let me tell you that. So I decided to go with Grey Knight torso and back, but it has to be on the waist of the Primaris, so you have to cut that. But then I'm just using the standard Grey Knight legs because that's what gives you all the motion, the dynamism. So you got to keep that. Otherwise, you just build a Grey Knight. Who cares? And then, if you look on the right, that guy, the captain, I've actually just gone with the captain's arms and just done a head swap, a torso swap, backpack swap, and shoulder pads. Guy on the left, I use Grey Knight arms. Everybody else is going to get Grey Knight arms. Guy on the right, Terminator squad dude, he's just got a Terminator head because I didn't have more strike normal heads. He was my first attempt. He's not quite what I wanted. The guy on the left, I think worked better ultimately. Either way, they're all a little bit of fudging as you try to make a torso that is not wide enough actually fit on a waist that is a little bit wider because it's Primaris. But actually the arms fit perfectly. Okay, that's a strong word to use. They did not fit perfectly at all. I don't know why I said use the word perfectly. But yeah, cool. All right. Yes. So there you go. That's all I've done. In case you're wondering, oh, you know what? Can you guess why I am redoing an AOD team as Flying Grey Knights plus Wrecker Crew who are going to be painted red? Can you guess what my brain is thinking? There you go. That's the puzzle. Right, now that I've said that, I'm going to go back and read chat again. That's my hobby. It's my hobby live stream done. Is that right? Yeah. Right. I'll be using lictors as proxies till my Typhon box shows up. Great idea, Jack. I think lictors and Von Ryan sleepers. Well, sorry. I think Von Ryan sleepers, but they're basically a strain of lictor. Are going to be perfect for those that want to stay Tyranid themed, but just use Tyranids. But can't get a hold of, what are they called? Raveners, that's the one. Soon, presumably next week, I will indeed be putting all of the Ravener models next to a bunch of different models. If I have them lying around, I don't have every model that I would like to compare them to, but yeah. Yes. Chase knows of no other KT hosts, so clearly I am the best. I always like to win by default. Yeah, awesome source, no problems then. A friend of mine suggested Neckmont Ambots. Yeah, so I just saw somebody saying, it was just on Reddit, which I need to stop using, by the way. It's pissing me off, or at least the kill team Reddit is. I should stop. I should unsubscribe from that. Anyway, moving on. Somebody had just posted an Ambot. It was just an Ambot with no conversion. It said, I'm going to use this as a Ravener. 100 upvotes. Great. I'm anti-bug. Changed my mind. Easy peasy. Tyranids aren't bugs. Boom. Mind blown. Done. That was a fabulous battle report. Atticus fell. Galaxy renowned Archeo Raider is a true ledge. I actually really enjoyed the battle report on Tactical Skew. It was funny. I consider myself to be a comedy genius. Thank you, Tabletop Impulse and Kaz. What's up with the frozen cheesecakes on the continent? Frozen cheesecakes are really nice. I don't know what else to tell you. I know that I already went over this in my Patreon video, but it was very tasty. I do love a white chocolate on a cheesecake. It does make it very sweet, but then had like an hour and a half walk afterwards, so it kind of balanced things out. Very tasty. I was hoping for fresh raspberries. I got raspberry sauce. Big letdown. Go and check out my other channel, Andy Eats. Glass half food. I don't know. Glass half stevia. I don't know. I'd have to brainstorm workshop that one. Mate, you haven't set up your Amazon US affiliate. I use Amazon US pretty frequently. I'd like to help that. So, El Pori, I looked into it. I did. And from what I could tell, and this makes a lot of sense, I cannot set up an Amazon affiliate link where someone just clicks on that link and then can buy anything from Amazon. I have to set up a specific item link, which makes no sense, right? My affiliate links in the UK and on the US, I do have a US affiliate link, just not Amazon, to clarify. Glass half fed. Jeez, Crimson, I didn't even see it. I'm sharp as a spoon tonight. Damn. Anyway, I have a US affiliate link. It's not Amazon because I cannot set up an overall affiliate link. Obviously, when somebody clicks on my normal affiliate links, they then simply have access to the whole of that shop. Yeah, there you go. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But I did look into it just for you. Am I a hobby enjoyer? No. I firmly am not a hobby enjoyer. I am a hobby tolerator. I is how I kind of glass myself, if you will. And the thing is, I don't like painting. I do like kit bashing. Building models, kit bashing, that's kind of my thing. I quite enjoy it. Because I'm not really that fussed about how accurate I am. Like with the kit bashes. Gaps in a model, fine. Sprue goo and done, right? Really not fussed. I just genuinely dislike painting. So for me to say I dislike hobby is a stretch. I like hobby, I just don't like painting. Can any of the models stand on the Tyranid terrain? Do you mean officially in the rules? In which case, no. You're not allowed to stand on any of the terrain. However, there is physically room to fit on some of the smaller pieces, like the round pieces. It is beautiful terrain. Feel like it needs windows, though. Yeah, so that's a bit of an interesting one, I suppose. I know that it was designed to be very, very easy to paint. I agree, though. There should have been windows on the larger pieces of terrain on the top floor, but they didn't do it, so fine, I guess. It is what it is. There you go. If I really want them, I can just take a ball peen hammer and smash out some windows, I guess. It'll probably shatter very nicely, to be fair. Dante says, so what? I don't know why you say so what. But yes. Would you consider doing a GHD D6 set? Baron Dice is custom dice. I did Glass Half Dead D6 set. I just never sold them. They were just for me. I still have a bunch lying around. The reason you haven't seen them is because I ordered them. They're very nice, but they don't work on stream because they're like a blue with like a very light pearlescent effect. And then they're a white, but they're also kind of, you know, a little bit satin glossy. And so under a light, they are reflective and you can't see the dice that I roll. And therefore, you've never seen them on stream. And I only ordered like, I don't know, 20, 50, something like that, just for myself. where if people wanted to buy them, I would have, but then they didn't work, so I didn't have a chance to shill my merch. So there you go. I have them. They're still just lying around in this huge dice box I have, which is just there, actually. Weirdly. Did you think of the new rules, and do one of these teams need a second box to work? No. I think this is Typhon's decent set where actually you're all in, you're done. The Raveners definitely don't need a second box to work, that's for sure. I can see that perhaps sometimes for the, you know, like for the Battle Clade, maybe you will want to swap out one of the specialists for another Flamer. But I don't know when, and I don't know if that's just me thinking, like, overthinking it. But I think that actually, really, these are two one-box teams. Yeah. I love their dice. Oh, minimum order is 500 pieces. I don't have that kind of money, so I'm not doing that. There you go. But it's nice otherwise, sure. Record crew are awesome, take it back. I refuse to take it back, Warp Spider, who has started a fight in my latest video's comment section. Thank you for that. I'm leaving. I don't remove comments, but I'm seeing it, and I'm staunchly not saying anything. But no, I think they're really bad. They're fine. But if you look at the new boys kit, I think every model super dynamic, really cool weapons, really cool features, very blocky, which I really like. And then the Wrecker crew are just like, everyone's just like 2D T-posing. I don't know, really boring. I understand why, because they're all heavily armored, so they can't move as much, right? Cool. In the same way that the very old now Mega Knobs are very flat poses because they're in huge swaths of armor. So I get it. But then you look at Ard Boys or Brutes from Iron Jaws, from Age of Sigmar, they're super heavily armored. They still look better. So anyway, I'm using those. There you go. So I'm just going to take the better sculpts. Count Poro, that was obviously, it was a one-off thing. Obviously, when people saw that, it sold out instantly because you managed to get something that is normally £40 from GW for £10, right? I managed to get hold of 3, which was awesome. Super lucky of me. There you go. Managed to get 2 myself, and then a friend got me 1 more. So, and I've made 20 somehow. There you go. Oh, the Necromunda tiles, of course. Nice. Hoping to get a ticket to the Atlanta Finals representing Colombia. That'd be amazing. Sounds great. But I don't have a single official GW mini. That's going to be an issue. I imagine it is required to have them. Yes, it is. It's the tournament WYSIWYG. Probably will be. Because they will look cool. Oh, that is true. Yes, Naked, I agree. So if you were going to go to Worlds, 100% yes, it has to be 100% GW model. WYSIWYG, yes, it would have to be WYSIWYG. That doesn't necessarily mean it can't be proxied. Like, you can do conversions and proxies, but that model has to be that model. Sorry, that weapon has to be that weapon. Which isn't always what people mean by WYSIWYG, but let's just say they're probably going to be very strict. They're probably going to be much stricter than Warhammer World, where Warhammer World is incredibly lax. Yeah, I don't know though. I haven't been to Worlds, so. Why did you not use the Horus Heresy for the Grey Knights? I wanted the flying guys. And I specifically wanted very, very dynamic poses, which has to mean the Assault Intercessors. The Horus Heresy models don't have dynamic poses that I want. That is why. GK Nox getting ready for 11th edition. Yeah, well, mate, I'm terrified that the rumors are going to be true, and I'm going to be putting all of this work in to these sweet proxies, and nothing comes out of it. Sorry, and then they just immediately release new kits. It's like, ugh, great, whatever. Glass half fed, hell yeah. Gin and Sheep approves. You're quickly becoming my favourite YouTuber. Dry sense of humour is great. My man, I keep everything around me dry all the time. Ask my girlfriend, she can agree. Roadkill says, what's good, Glass? Hello. Glass half fed, hell yeah. Me too, love modelling and kit bashing, third or manual, but I'm too slow to enjoy painting. Yeah, I put in so much effort into hacks and tips and tricks for painting faster so that I can just get it done and get things on the table. I'm not a hobby enjoyer. Hey guys, look at the pretty cute orcs I painted. Ooh woo, haha. Again, painting I'm against. Oh, I am done with that. I'm not going to show those again. But I suppose how long are we in? Oh, like half an hour. Okay. I suppose at this point, if anybody does have questions about Typhon, let me know. I can answer them. I have the book right here, which I'm finally allowed to actually read verbatim and discuss. If anybody has that. If not, I will just continue reading chat. I've shown you my hobby. I don't know what else to say really after that. So there you go. Interesting. Where's that? Okay, sorry. I was getting I have two screens up, and the UI is different between the two screens for reading YouTube. There we go. Glass half fed. Yep. Not a hobby enjoyer. I appreciate you reading out the comments section. Helped me understand how far back you are. Yes, I apologize. The thing is, if I'm too fast, I'll have to actually say things of my own accord. But if I'm too slow, nobody wants to type because they know it's going to be so long until they actually get to it, you know? Top-notch coverage of Typhon. The joint-top stuff looks awesome. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Much better than Blood and Zeal, I've got to say. Thanks for the advice last week on ordering. Typhon secured. Very happy, and I used your referral. Glad to hear it, Robin. Oh, so that means you actually got a... you actually got it through an FLG. Lucky. I haven't been brave enough to actually go for an FLG. Or if it's an order I really want, I always go just GW. Tunda, hello there. I've been told I have to immediately inform you I did manage to track down Diet Cafola, just so you're aware. Matte varnish for the glass half dead dice tray. You've lost me on that one, just JP. You've lost me, yeah. So, should have some dice merch, bro. Just saying, though. I don't even know where they are. They're probably in that box, to be clear. But yeah, had a similar though. Maybe drop the medic for a flamer. Hard to say. Yeah. So in the games that I played, which wasn't many, and you know I'm not a top tier player trying to hyper optimize my lists. I'm going to play the one box I have, right? I never used the medic even once. Would I have liked another flamer? Yes, I would have actually, now that I think about it. But it is literally the best medic in the game. So that seems a bit wrong. I don't know. Or I just didn't have the big brains to kind of do what needed to be done with the medic to make it actually work as the best flamer, the best medic in the game, you know? But I settled two for the lols. I always bought an Imperial Agents box just to get more abilities to flesh out the kill team more, and I have inadvertently built an Imperial Agents from buying Inquisitors and Assassins with my kill teams. Yes, that is a really good combat patrol box, for sure. The problem with the Imperial Agents army for 40k is that it doesn't make any sense, I think. Yeah, it's not a coherent army, right? Don't know. I find it insane how much demand there is for Typhon, even though no one, except me apparently, wants the servitors. Yeah, so I actually checked on eBay to see what was going down. And yes, there's like one auction for the Raveners at like £80, and everything else is for the servitors being sold, and that's it. So good luck getting Raveners if that's what you want. Sucks, to be honest, but yeah, there you go. I'm getting it for the servitors too. Just wanted to represent Venezuela for Worlds, but didn't get a golden ticket. Is the golden ticket the only way to go to Worlds? Yes, JP. So it's an invitational, which is what we would normally refer to that sort of thing. You have to be invited. Yeah. I spent like 6 hours painting on Sunday. I've base coated all my Goremongers except the leader and actually finished painting like 3 of them. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Jason Bradshaw says, Oi oi, Battleclade shenanigans versus High-Tech shenanigans. Who's more honest? Honest is a tough one. I think that High-Tech will still feel worse to play into because they debuff you. Whereas Battleclade don't debuff you. They do a lot of stuff, but you know it's there, you know it's coming. They don't, there isn't a surprise per se, whereas High-Tech just kind of bend you over, you know. So the new MPO rules for good for Typhon. So, yes. However, if I were to be critical, it is simply a flavor. It's a skin, right? Because if you go and look at what they've actually given you, they've just kind of said, oh, so this is the default Ravener thing. So we'll make that an MPO stat line. And then everything else is just kind of a skin for the data sheets that we already had from the thing, the original core book, except a slight change, like Barb Gaunts have a blast profile, right? But the actual stat lines are the same, right? So it's a flavored skin of MPO. The value is really in the branching tree of the campaign you can run, and then the addition of course, adversarial joint ops. It can't be called that. It's probably adversary ops, right? Where you can play PvPvE. If you're buying it because you want cool new MPO rules, don't buy it. That's not the purpose of Typhon. They've just given you a skin. What changes do you think need making to them 2 new teams, if any? So I think that it's pretty clear for Raveners. If you need to buff the team, make their tunnel move further, so 6 inches. If you need to nerf the team, the first thing you need to do, and this might actually happen, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a mistake that was not caught and now they're going to change it. Ride out of sight shouldn't allow you to pop up and then attack. It should perhaps, I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's in the name, ride out of sight, not ride into sight. So I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if we see that get nerfed to, you know, not allow you to use it offensively. I can definitely see that being a thing. I don't know if they need those buffs or nerfs, but ride out of sight seems super good, if I'm honest. And it's a total no-brain play with no room for the enemy to get around it. Yeah, I don't know. For the Battleclade, not really sure. I don't like teams that hit on 4s. There you go. Although I like how the Noospheric network ability works. It's cool. I think it's fun. As I said in the video, I can see a version of Kill Team where Guard and Noospheric network are default abilities everyone can use. And I think that would actually be a really, really fun, interesting game. So it's not that I dislike it. I just don't like anything that hits on 4s. I felt like I was never able to actually get off my overlapping auras and abilities, even when I had accurate. Yeah, I don't like rolling. I don't like hitting on 4s. There you go. Yup, Wayland. And then with the money saved, I bought Blackstone Fortress books from Element, again with your code. Thanks. Oh, well, that's awesome, Robin. How on earth did you manage to buy? I've genuinely never been able to get anything from Wayland. There you go. Like for release. So that's impressive. And which of the two teams did you find more fun to play? So my type of playstyle obviously is Raveners. Is Ravener based. Raveners are based. Very heavily Ravener coded is me. I played them into Battleclade mainly, but then I also did have one game into Nemesis Claw with them. They seem pretty strong, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. But then the Battleclade, so here's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't matter how the team plays. It matters how the team feels, right? So win or lose, did you actually have fun? Did you enjoy playing that way? For example, Vet Guard, you should probably get tabled when you play Vet Guard, right? Like, you should lose every model. That's the whole point of the team. But you win on points. Do you enjoy that? Is that fun for you? That's not fun for me. I don't like that kind of game. I prefer elites, where I'll probably lose half my team, but then I win and I still have models on the board and I'm still very effective, blah blah blah. So I just don't like how these non-elite teams play. It's not that they're bad at all, and it's not that nobody will have fun with them. I think that, I believe I said it, but I think that if you're an AdMech fan, I think you should be very happy with Battleclade mechanically. Not with the models, not aesthetically, obviously, but I think mechanically they've done a really good job with that team. I'm not going to play it ever again, but it was fun when I did play it. There you go. Oh, nice. Have you tried it yet, or did you keep it ready for a stream? Yes. So I bought 2. I drank them. It was good. It was tasty. No complaints. Let me try this. It's better than this. There you go. There's definitely a tang of actual taste to the Cafola. Obviously, keep in mind I got the diet one, not the normal, so probably does taste different. But yeah, it tastes different than this. At least it's an actual taste, as opposed to black carbonated water, I guess, which has no taste. Bizarre. But yeah, that was good. But I had to buy it from some weird shop, like, that sold foreign imports. I couldn't find it in a normal shop, so therefore it's also relatively expensive. But there you go. But it was there, so I thought, why not? If the Ravener tunnel mechanism was start within deployment zone rather than touching board edge, do you think? Yeah, that'd be insane. That'd be absolutely mad. I have just watched someone's video. I haven't watched that's a question for everybody in chat, actually. I assume that you have actually probably watched more people's release day content than I have. What's the general vibe? What are other content creators? What are you, after having watched them, what do you think? What do you think of Typhon, of the new teams? I only know my own thoughts. However, I recently watched somebody's video, who I shall not name because I'm about to talk negatively about it. and they said what you said there. So I assume that you also watched it. So you and I probably both know who that is. Although maybe multiple people said this. I don't know. Start with in deployments though, rather than touching board edge. Do you think they would? Yeah, that'd be insane. Raveners are incredibly strong. However, they are a turn 3 and 4 team. Turn 1 and 2, they're not very good. In fact, they're quite weak. They're very inconsistent. And it's that inconsistency that, from a tournament perspective, will stop them from being on top tables. If you basically turn them into a turn 2, 3, and 4 team, as most teams are, by giving them that additional tunnel move, outrageous. I can't, yeah. Mad. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that'd be ludicrous, to be honest with you. But I don't know. However, just reading it, I was like, nah, no chance. You said that the glass half dead dice tray was too glossy for the the dice tray. No, sorry, just JP. It was the dice itself, not the dice tray. Dice tray is fine. I probably wouldn't matte varnish spray my dice though. There you go. Feels the tunnel is unusable on 50% of board layouts. So yeah, so this is the big thing with with the Raveners. And obviously I've played 4 or 5 games with them. I think, I don't know, something like that. And I understand what you're thinking, because I had the exact same thoughts before I put them on the board, and I agree. It's just about figuring out how important is the tunnel. First things first, I said it in my video. I genuinely do not think Raveners can beat Angels of Death with Dueler, and Angels of Death always take Dueler. Therefore, Raveners are going to be hard locked out of winning tournaments. There you go. But there are going to be some teams where they just absolutely smash them. It's a real stat check team. And of course, Raveners are mainly weak to shooting. You really don't want to melee them. Unless, of course, you've got Dueler. So, yeah, have fun with that, I guess. Yeah. Who knows? I've only played them into 2 teams. Battleclade and Nemclaw. But you know what? I will say there's so many ways you could buff and nerf both of the teams without having to touch their core identity. So I think it'd be very obvious one way or the other how to buff and nerf them. So it's good. Yes. The tunnel is unusable. I disagree it's unusable, because you're thinking about, I want my team to be entirely on the tunnel so I get all the buffs. But if you do that, you're too good. You can't be beaten, right? So that's why it's a late game team, and it's a team that is incredibly good on its data sheet, because you're not getting any rerolls, because you don't get that. And you have to decide, do I charge up the board and just make stuff happen turn 2 without any of my redundancy, without any rerolls? How's that going to work for me, etc. If you got to just pay a CP and say, oh, I get relentless on defense and melee, great. Well, yeah, now you're too good. So, bit of a tough one. Hello again, 30R912. I remember you from last week, despite not being able to pronounce your name, of course, because it's unpronounceable. Hi Andy, best kill team channel on YouTube. Only kill team channel on YouTube, I believe. When doing intro games, what's the best team to let them play, and how would you make it a good experience for new people? They should play Angels of Death. That's the only true answer. Unless they, for some reason, hate Marines. In which case, Kassakin. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not Kassakin. Kassakin know how to learn shooting. A good mixed arms team. I don't know, does that exist? You know what? Corsairs. They're quite non-survivable, but yeah, Corsairs are actually good, I reckon. And how would you make it a good experience for new people? So, you know, everyone's different, but I have had success teaching people things. You got to go basics. And I think one thing to do is present them with things, rules, and say, look, this is a data card, blah, blah, blah. And then never make them look at that data card again. You just tell them everything, okay? Just make them say, I want to do this. And then you tell them how they can do that. And I think that's probably, now that's me talking about how to teach someone that doesn't play war games, right? So a proper beginner. Don't make them think. Let them act. You still point to the rules to say, oh look, these are real things, I'm not making it up. But then they don't have to know any rules. They just do whatever they want to do, and you just tell them if they can or can't do it, essentially. And suggest things they could do, and kind of discuss, oh, well, yeah, you could move there and shoot me, but then if you're there, don't forget I could be here and shoot you back, right? So it's very back and forth. Also, you should really try and let them win. Not that it matters. And always play with an objective. So it shouldn't just be kill each other. There should be stand on a point as like a fundamental thing that is part of kill team. Even if there's only one central objective to stand on and to tap to score your VP, right? That's still something that is mandatory. You do want servitors, that's good, I guess. Servitor team will be more competitive. Ravenous too easy to play around, too many bad matchups to be top table. Yeah, I agree. Campaign team will be in the app, right? Just like the other books. Have they all gone into the app? If so, yeah, I can't imagine they wouldn't. But Blood and Zeal isn't in there yet. Did the bunker system, I believe it did, from Brutal and Cunning end up in there? If so, then I have to assume all of the books will, 5 months after release, end up in the app, right? Presumably. 170 is a tough price point, but since terrain release will be 100, it almost makes sense. Yeah, I mean, price points are different for everybody. The thing that made me stop complaining about GW prices is I decided to get into a bunch of smaller model companies' prices, like games, and they're just as expensive and you get less stuff. I was like, okay. And if I'm not then going to complain about their prices because I don't want to, because they're smaller companies and I want to support them and the industry and blah, 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 well, then I can't rightly complain about GW, can I? So if I'm not going to complain about Corvus Belli or Privateer Press or all these things, I cannot complain about GW. So I understand what you're saying. You get accurate. It's very easy for you to get accurate as well. I just still don't like it. There you go. I just don't like hitting on fours. But yeah, accurate is very accurate. Always having accurate one's good. I think I said it in my video, but you know who else always has accurate one? If you want Vespid Warriors. I can't kill anything with Vespid Warriors. There you go. So I don't know what to do about that. My LGS website had a queue of 200 people to order. Geez, ended up grabbing one on the website that put up the listing. Oh, nice. Okay. Lucky. Only watch your release day content. Well, I am the only Kill Team channel, so that does make sense, Kaz. Good. Hello, Go For It Painting. Greetings from Hungary. Lovely, glad to hear it. I've never been there, but I know there's a small Kill Team scene, so that's cool. I think Raveners are good, but the Burrow taking an APL means you can't fight twice, which kind of hurts, and Tunnel feels a bit slow. As for the Admech, I feel there's a bit more in them, but also not great. Oh, interesting. Yes. Cool. Indeed. I'm surprised to hear you say that you don't think they're great. I think they have enough shenanigans that they might be an actual top tier team. So, don't know. Any advice? Got 2 friends into Kill Team. Was going to play those 2 versus me with 2 Horde teams and light rules. Can't see any issues. Any advice? I'm vaguely okay with most of the rules, but won't swamp them. So I kind of already actually answered that to 30R912 there, Ian. But yes, if you're kind of the game master, the guide there, I don't know their level, right? Like, some people like to flick through all the rules and try to figure things out for themselves and start to piece together the puzzle of how a war game works. I don't. And most people that are truly new to a game don't either. They want a taster. They want a flight of war games, not, you know. So, just as I said before, I think you do all the heavy lifting for them. And every time they say, I'm going to move here, just say, oh yeah, that's cool, you can do that. And I'm sure you've got a plan. Don't forget, if you move there, I could do this, or maybe I won't, and I'll do that. Blah, blah, blah. And that's where you get the interaction of fun when teaching someone that knows nothing. So they don't know any rules. You just tell them, hey, this could occur. Do you still want to do it? And they get to say yes or no to you telling them things can happen. Hey, do you what about Epic Scale? Are they a game? Are they just for show? Can you buy minis separately? I just know I want a couple of Titans, they look nice. I, at one point, had like a whole Epic army for the new Legions Imperialis. But I got rid of it all because I don't play games. There you go. They look cool, they're fun, they're nice. They're, you know, 32 more bases that have 5 models on them is pretty cute. I like that. Yeah. But I ended up not playing the game at all, I think. So I can't really talk about the game. And ultimately, I'm about the game. I'm about the mechanics. I like games. I don't really like just collecting models. And especially when it comes to... That's a lie. I don't know why I've said that. I love collecting models. I like just setting things up. But Epic Scale doesn't ring that bell for me. Yeah, I'd rather collect larger and not play a game like with Star Wars Shatterpoint or something, because then it's like it's a piece, you know, for the mantle, as opposed to, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Ravagers need rerolls. Look at the Brew Brothers Patriarch. It's better than some Raveners, I feel. Yes, it is straight up better than, right? I believe it is just a better model, but it's not better than 5 of them, obviously. Yes, Raveners do need rerolls, 100%. Well, it depends what you're going into. I can definitely say that in the games I played, you know, I charged and fluffed rolls. It's only 5 dice. You know, anyone that has played Harlequins or Angels of Death or whatever, you charge them. If you don't have rerolls up for some reason, you better get ready to start spending your money. I will say, as the Raveners, I did end up with a lot of command points, because all of your command points are based on the tunnel. So you're not using any of them in turn 1 and 2. So you're very CP flush, I would say. Like, maybe you're using 1 in the second turn, but you're probably not fighting on the tunnel. So you kind of don't need your buffs up, to be honest. That's what I found. Or I was playing Raveners wrong, which is also very likely, of course. And of course, the fact you get an extra CP, and if you plan to play a very conservative turn 1 and 2, which you probably should be as Raveners, then try to kind of give your opponent the turn if you win initiative. All I'm saying is I had a lot of command points lying around. There you go. Ian says, was happy to secure Typhon and loved your back rep narrative style. Thank you. It took me far too long. I genuinely don't even know, and I don't really want to think about how long it took. I believe, Ian, you've probably seen my Patreon video about me just dejectedly talking about how the back and forth of actually just the logistics of making that work and how long it took. even though it is ultimately a very basic battle report I did. There you go. But thank you. For the Battle Blade D3 AP equipment, what do you think about playing it as you always have, as you always roll a 2? What do I think about that? That could be a buff for the team to receive, but at the moment, you roll the dice and you get 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. If you go ahead and watch my narrative battle report, you will see that in that I roll 1. I roll a 1. Or Atticus fell. Galaxy renowned Archaeotech forgot to charge the plasmic recycler cells or whatever. So there you go. That was great. Love it. Seems dumb. Seems really dumb, but fine. My take on Raveners is that they're a solid B tier. I'm not suggesting any buffs or anything. Nothing wrong with I agree. Nothing wrong with the B tier. Sounds perfect. Probably OP still. I have a question. Can you pick up and carry equipment markers, e.g. the comms device? No, Tunda, you can't. As far as I'm aware, all markers that could be picked up say this marker can be picked up. Is my understanding, I think. 50% of board layouts, short edge deployments, they won't be effective even on TP3. You won't score enough points on crit ops or tag ops, meaning you'll lose on scoring more often than not. I don't know what you mean by not effective on turn 3, because they are effective on turn 3. Depending on what you're trying to do. I agree that they're not effective on turn 2. So yeah, on the short edge deployments, you have a much harder game than on the long edge deployments, which is bizarre. That's the thing that defines your team. I also didn't play any Gallowfall. I don't really know how that would interact with it. I imagine it makes you kind of good, but I don't know. But yes, yeah, much harder game, short edge deployment, which is bizarre. If you're only thinking about the purpose of a tunnel is to get to the enemy's objective, then yes, you don't do that. That is correct. I had a friend play Jaegers versus Deathcore and he won, and the rules did end up in it. Okay, that's good. That's good. Jaegers are fun. Deathcore can be fun, I guess. The rules did end up in it. Yeah, cool. Bunkers went into the app. Yes, cool. So I have to assume that Blood and Zeal will be out at some point. Although, Blood and Zeal only works with a specific card deck. So maybe it won't. And likewise, Typhon requires the Typhon events deck. So maybe that won't either. Because yeah, just thinking about it logically, the other narrative things they've put out have not required additional cards, right? So now if you think about it, it's you say, oh, here's your Blood and Zeal thing, and it's, you know, it's just copy paste and it just says draw a card, but you can't draw a card because you don't have the deck. Maybe they won't put that in. Something to think about. Don't know. What about a battle report for the Typhon narrative mini campaign PvE? So I've obviously done my narrative battle report on Tactical Skew, and I've got a a standard battle report coming out this week sometime. Don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday probably. But I did a lot of content for Typhon. I'm pretty Typhoned out, if I'm honest, so I probably won't, if I'm honest. Also, that would then have to be 3 battle reports, which probably won't do, I think. I do feel like Star Wars Legion prices were really good. Yeah, I know Asmodee has just had to increase their prices, but their little starter boxes actually seem very reasonable, you know, and it's a full army, which is nice as well. 2 regular squads, an elite squad, and a hero. Pretty cool. I'm fine with that. Hey, so I haven't watched any of the new videos yet. Can you go ahead and recite the scripts of the videos for me? Of course, Adam. This is actually what I've been waiting for. I will do that for the low price of More money than you have. There you go. Yes, if you subscribe to my Patreon right now, at the top tier, I will do that for you. For what it's worth, I hate Heon Force too. Yeah, Heon Force sucks. I don't get all the hate for Raveners. Why is everyone calling them Ravagers? Maybe you meant Ravagers. Sorry. Felgor Ravagers, right? Does every new team need to be S+ tier broken on? No, you meant Raveners. Okay, my bad. Does every new team need to be S+ tier broken on release? People seem to be upset about this. Okay, but sorry, Jack. Are you saying that because you've seen the rules and you think they're not, and you think they're mid, or have other creators said they're mid and that sucks? Or is it just randomers that don't have access to the rules and have not played them saying they're mid and that sucks? Because of course at this point, the number of people that have actually put the team on the table and played them is like 10 people probably in the world, right? So that seems a wild take. Yeah, that's the internet, isn't it? They don't need to play the game to know how strong everything is, so can't argue with that. I'm not upset, lol. They do have limitations though. The CP flush thing appeared in the Mountainside Tabletop back rep, ended up doing loads of CP rerolls. Yeah. Indeed. It's just a thing. It's just, you're not going to be on the tunnel. It is what it is. I think if they had a piece of equipment or strap ploy in which they're allowed to completely redeploy the tunnel or something, and so many of their strat and tactical ploys rely on it, maybe a bit OP. It's an interesting one, being able to completely redeploy the tunnel somewhere else. Maybe. I just don't know why that would be the fix, right? Like, what's their negative? What deficiency are you trying to fix by saying they can redeploy a tunnel? You know? I guess. Because to be clear, they're probably not S tier, I guess, but they seem really strong. And I think that they would be S tier if you were always fighting on the tunnel. So, and they shouldn't, no team should be S tier, right? So logically, the fact that they are not always fighting on the tunnel is built into their strength. They should not be always doing that. There you go, I guess. Which unfortunately does lead into the idea that you're a stronger team on a long edge deployment, which makes no sense. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Fine. That's a dumb thing, but yeah. I don't know why people say, oh, you can't kill an assault intercessor with dueler. Of course, that's like saying I can't kill a Felgor with one activation in melee. You lost me a little bit with that one there, Academic Chris. But the silent poison or out of activation chip damage helps flip those fights. Oh, right. Okay, so you're saying as a Ravener, I cannot kill an assault intercessor with dueler. Right, okay. Okay, I didn't realise that was from the POV. POV Ravener. Yeah, you definitely cannot do that. For sure. Firstly, because you don't have any rerolls. And they will just double block you and you're done. Yes, correct. But the silent poison and out of chip damage, yes, you've got to find a way to chip damage them. It's a whole kerfuffle, really. Yes, how many players have already played these teams in tournaments in Spain? Good question. Yeah, indeed. All my brothers are currently from chatting with Tim. Oh, well, yeah, of course they are. But Tim wants everything to be completely OP broken that he wants to play. I think you might be to say it's usually the word everyone with a little bit of liberalism to it, if I'm honest there. We all know deep down that Phobos are the true Sigma level tier kill team. Sigma Phobos are very cool. That is true, and soon we will never see them in tournament play again. There you go. Recommended accessories for your kill team dice, etc. I don't really have recommended accessories for dice per se. Probably a dice tray. But otherwise, basically, if you look in my pinned comments on all of my videos, there's like 5 links to wound markers, all-in-one travel case, objective markers, and caddy, caddy, you know what I mean, right? Like a token caddy. Wound markers, I've said that. I definitely have more links than that. But the reason I use those links is because those are the things that I use. There you go. I have my all-in-one carry box, which carries my team, etc., and all of my shenanigans inside. And everything that I use, I put into that box. And yeah, so I thoroughly recommend all of those accessoires. Accoutrement. Okay, I've caught up with chat. So I guess I have to talk about Typhon. Because there's no chat. Nobody asked a question about Typhon when I said you could. So I guess my question to y'all is, again, I'm going to say it. So I know what I've said about it, and I know what you guys think about it. What have other channels said about Typhon? I've just managed to watch Tabletop Impulse, Turning Point Tactics, and Command Point, and I watched like the first half of Squad Games, their battle report. I wasn't so much looking for the battle report side of things, but I was at a point where I had nothing else to watch, so I was like, oh, I'll give it a watch, why not? Because it was a bit of a longer one. Because I was doing hobby, as you saw, so I didn't want to be looking up from the hobby bench. And I was the amalgamation that I got from these other channels was a little bit lackluster, I felt. Not because their content was bad or anything like that, just nobody said anything that really contradicted with me about like overall thoughts and such. And I'm generally of the opinion that I'm a pretty average player, you know. And the fact that I was watching players that are 100% better than me and more knowledgeable in the game than me, and they didn't say anything different to what I said, I was a bit like, oh, all right, that's a bit, you know, because obviously when it comes to Typhon or all the new stuff, I'm just in a total, I have no idea what anybody else thinks. I just get the rules and I just figure things out and I record my thoughts. So I always assumed that like when I go to see what other creators say, that they're going to have quite different takes to me. No. Now obviously I haven't watched everybody. But yeah, I was just a little bit like, oh, lame. Oh well. And then in general, obviously there is the slight weirdness of I don't need to see other people just reading out the cards, because I can do that. I just want like the 2-minute clip of them saying, and this is what I think the team will play like, and this is the power level of the team, which is then always a little bit weird, of course. But yeah. Typhon, is that future speak for typo? Yes, sure, Chase, yeah. I believe London Zeal will get rules in the app, as it seems out of place if they don't. Well, maybe. But then how are you going to draw cards? Are they going to give you all 30 cards or whatever? I guess they could. When I read the article Mountaiside did before the release, I thought the bugs were going to be super broken, automatically saving 2 dice, but now it seems like these two teams are balanced nicely. Yes, I did see that there was quite a bit of, as there always is, right? As there always is, quite a bit of feedback on Reddit, but I really need to unsubscribe from that Kill Team subreddit. And it was all like, oh, these teams are broken, blah, blah, blah. And I do remember reading that and thinking, oh, you think you're going to be stood on a tunnel to save 2? Unlikely, mate. Unbloody likely. But of course, people don't know that. And at the time, I don't think we knew how a tunnel worked. So you could just assume that you are always stood on a tunnel, something like that. As it is, you know, and I said this in my videos, the Battle Clade actually have a really decent matchup into the Raveners, I think, because you're relatively decent at shooting. And Raveners, relatively decent at getting wrecked by shooting. So that's good, isn't it? Yeah. So nobody managed to actually discuss my hobby and guess why I was doing Grey Knights and Wrecker Crew. It's because, that's right, we're back to hobby, because nobody's asked anything about Typhon. So there you go. So the reason I'm doing that is because I'm obviously going a little bit insane, but I want to do World of Warcraft teams. There you go. I'm going to do World of Warcraft teams. So my orcs are obviously going to be fell orcs, right? Red orcs, makes sense. That's locked in. And they're Wrecker Crew, obviously. And then I'm doing the Grey Knights. They're going to be humans, right? So what I'm doing there... and so if you look at the footmen in Warcraft, they're just silver armor, bit of blue, bit of gold trim, done. So that's going to be an Angels of Death team. That makes the most sense. And then what else have you got? You got the orcs, you got the humans, elves. Ugh. Bit of a tough one with the elves. I've already got like 2 Blades of Cain teams, so I'm not doing them. Corsairs are about to go away, otherwise Corsairs would be good. And I have 2 boxes of Corsairs, so I don't want to buy a third. Hand of the Archon, but I don't like Hand of the Archon, so I'm not doing them. Which leaves us with... Oh, I'm not doing Harlequins either, obviously. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Mandrakes. There you go. Mandrakes. You're about to be spammed. Oh, at some point. I'll record them all, like, tomorrow. And then release them very slowly over the next month. But yeah, you're about to be spammed by me saying how much I love mandrakes. For a variety of reasons. Which is, coincidentally, I don't think mandrakes have a good matchup into Raveners. I have no idea how you beat Raveners at all with mandrakes. But I don't really care. It's not the point, is it? So, yeah, I think mandrakes are probably the team for me that I think is... mandrakes for undead. What's the World of Warcraft kind of typical color scheme for undead? It's black and purple, right? Yeah, I was thinking more night elf mandrakes. Probably there, Chris. Yeah. I always love the red and gold blood elf scheme though, and that could be anything, couldn't it? But yes. So I've got to do those 4 factors. So for undead, I was actually thinking just my plague marines. Yeah, plague marines, because you know Death Knights, which I know isn't the Forsaken, but it's undead enough for me. Not play a character, and anyone can be a Death Knight, but I'll take Arthas, I'll take Lich King as the undead. And I already did my plague marines as that color scheme. I just never got around to doing the ice effect, so they just look like they're underwater, but it's not the point. Yeah. So, and then that will give me fell orcs. So orcs, Wrecker Crew, humans, Angels of Death, but Grey Knights, because that's the standard Grey Knight armor, because they're just knights. So orcs, humans, night elves, which I guess would be mandrakes, undead, plague marines, the 4 kings right there. Yeah, and those are 4 good teams that I actually like as well, which is pretty gangster. Sorry, right. GG Easy Princess, hoi hoi hoi, hello. Jim, it seems like these teams aren't quite as power creeped as the Blood and Zeal box, and the AdMech are stronger than expected. Congrats on getting publisher. Yes, it does. Yeah. So again, I don't know what other people have been saying, but I have not seen people saying like, oh my god, they're completely broken, like people were saying already for Sanctifiers and to a lesser degree for Goremongers. So that's probably a good thing. For me personally, I'm excited for Raveners. It's an elite team. It's 5 models. I'm pretty hyped, and it's 5 models at 40mm bases. That's so much hobby opportunity right there. So I'm actually genuinely excited. It could be Terminators, or it could be weird funky things from factions that we haven't got to play around with yet, because not many models in Kill Team are on 40mm bases. So I'm actually pretty hyped to play around with like conversions and proxies for the Raveners there. Wow, lol. Mandrakes for Undead. Yep. Have you played the solo missions? No, I haven't. Obviously, I have to divvy my time up relatively carefully and tightly when it comes to actually putting out release day content. As it's all to a time limit, you know. Blood Elves for Hota would be a perfect, but yes, Night Elf Mandrakes. Yeah, I don't like Hand of the Archon though, and I will say, Cabalite armor doesn't actually have gilding, so you would just be putting, or filigree, sorry. So you would just be putting, like, you would just be doing red with a gold edge highlight, which might look fine, to be fair. To be fair. I think what you should actually do if you're going to do that is take Lumineth Realm Lords as the base model, and then just put the Cabalite Warrior arms and helmet on. Because then you would have both some cloth and some gilding to work with. Lumineth Realm Lords are pretty cool models, so. I like to play elites. Apart from Marines, are there more? Raveners and Elves. There you go. And to a lesser degree, Hyrotech and Wrecker Crew. Yeah. I didn't plan on getting Typhon until I saw how extensive the MPO stuff is. Really excited about that. Thank you for your coverage. Yes, Hans. Well, on the plus side, nobody out there is going to be buying it for the extra MPO cards and such, so you'll be able to get those off eBay super easily. But if you want to get it for anything else in there, good luck. Frozen Deathplague Marines, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's originally what I did those Plague Marines as. Like, I even posted it to certain subreddits saying, oh, look, Death Knights. I think I specifically said, I'd rather be playing World of Warcraft. There you go. Because I think at the time I probably was into World of Warcraft a bit. And Death Knights. And I took that post down. It was a little bit insulting, I realised, after the fact. Dwarves. I don't like GW Dwarves. They haven't done a very good job in 40k with the Leagues of Votann, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future, perhaps. Like with the Wave 2 of Votann, but yeah, they're just not my vibe. I just played against Mandrakes with my Nemesis absolutely killed me, really. Their rules, I feel like they break elite, save 3 up. So much, maybe I'm just mad that I've been annoyed with that matchup. So, I know that... So I haven't actually played Mandrakes that much. I've played them one time into Phobos, and I've played them one time as Phobos. I think that's all I've done. So I need to play them more. And let's just say the Phobos matchup is great. Super good. I have no idea how Mandrakes can possibly beat... how Phobos can possibly beat Mandrakes. But when I then look at Mandrakes, I don't know how they beat the 14 wound elites. How do they? From what you've said, they just shoot them. But when are you giving them those shots? Presumably after you've double killed them, and then you're winning, right? Like, what's cracking? Gnomes as ratlings, Tauren. That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, I was going to keep it because I would like to actually finish painting these models as well. And therefore I need to keep it very small in scope and not go too crazy. But so I'm keeping it to the 4 main Warcraft 3 races, as opposed to every race in WoW, obviously. But yeah. Gnomes and Tauren would be ratlings on Ogrins. Yeah, it's a good one. Do you think you will finally play Plague Marines before the end of 2025? 6 months? I mean, I don't know. Someone should play them against me so I can see what they do, I think, is step 1. And then once I've seen how they work, maybe I will consider playing them myself. I should play them. I want to. I just haven't. Damn, I tuned in 1 hour after launch of Typhon and didn't get them. Yeah, during that. They're just not around for that long. You have to be there 10 minutes before. Legit. And I know it sucks. But yeah. It's the only way it works. Stephanie says hello. I will say hello to you, sir. Joden, just watched your Cost of Kill Team short. Love it. Can relate. Oh yes. Yeah. I think I was just saying in the last stream actually that yes, I had just figured out that all of this is what 6,085 points, I think. If you've bought, you know, one of every kill team. 6,085 points. There you go. Wanted to make a late to the party again. Boo. Yeah, drop in at 9, honestly. If I'm tired, I might not even be here by 9, so gotta be careful. But then hope everyone having a laugh. Yes, well, the fact I've caught up with the chat is concerning. But also good. Also good, you know. So now I can actually talk about something related to Kill Team. I've got nothing to talk about though. I thought chat would ask questions about Typhon, but they haven't. So there you go. Availability of Typhon in Germany is quite good, so I was able to watch your overview video before deciding, oh wow, okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good then. Excellent. I know that for sure in the UK and America, there's been quite challenging to get a hold of, but hopefully everybody does get what they want. Going back to work, mate. Thanks for doing these streams. Thank you, El Pori Pokemon. Enjoy. Oh, hey, is this the streamer I was looking for? Well, I am the only Kill Team streamer. So, you know, the only Kill Team channel out there. If you're looking for a Kill Team streamer, I'm the one. Double thumbs up. Hello, Down Legion. Good to see you. Good to see you. Love the narrative back, Pandy. The techno archaeologist was like beat boot flash. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, that is, I mean, how could he not be, right? If you're going to have fun, have fun. The MPO stuff actually looks very good. Okay, that's good. What card are you putting on Nid Spires? Can I show you? Where is my stuff? They can be on this shelf now. I don't have to hide them anymore. I can show you what color because I've done it, right? I can make this work. How can I find where these are? Ravener, Typhon. The answer is blue. There you go. Just heads up. The answer is blue. Okay, I've brought it up there. Close that. Over there. Oh, it's too big. That is not what she said. Then we go back over to OBS. We crack open the window capture. Boom. I think that's right. And then we shrinkify me. No, that didn't work. Why? It did work. That should work. I'm actually very confused why that doesn't work. It's on the right thing. Okay. I can't show you. There you go. However, my Typhon spires are the same color as my Typhon. There you go. They are blue flesh with a kind of brown chitin. There you go. And we've had a Hydratus Dominatus from Durin for 100 sec. Thank you very much. Durin, you're too kind, sir. I shall super Hydratus myself right now, sir. Exclamation mark heart. All done. All done. Yes, blue it is. I genuinely don't know why I can't just show you. That's very strange. It's annoying me, in fact. I spent all this damn time and I think I'm good at this shit. I can't do anything. God damn it. It's ridiculous. Right, I open it. It opens there. Fine. Alright. Cancel. Oh, it really doesn't like it. Okay. Well, I'm not doing it then. I might break the stream if I keep doing this. Okay. Fine. I can't show you. Right. Need spars. US sold out fast, but I pre-ordered through my FODS now. Avoid the online race. Ironhead squats are the better vote. So I've heard people say that, and for a time I had a full Ironhead squats gang. I don't think they look that good. The thing is, what they've done is not made dwarves. They've made short, stocky people, but they're not dwarves. And I want dwarves. There you go. Thank you. You know. Are the Typhon joint tops beginner friendly? I wanted to start teaching my wife to play using the joint tops. Count Poro. Yeah, sure. They're as friendly as anything else. The thing is, presumably you know the game. And therefore I would say don't lean too heavily on what the book says. Make things work for yourself. However, I will say I can't... There's you know, one of the first things I did in Kill Team, this new edition, was I played the joint ops, and I played mission 1, I think it was mission 1, maybe mission 2, from the core book, and it's like, your team starts in a normal 3-inch deployment zone on the long edge, and then the enemy, there are like 3 points you need to tap, and then there are 2 spawn points for the enemy. That was a really good mission. I would recommend starting with that, as it gives you things to do and the constant threat of enemies attacking you and stuff like that. But it's definitely all about how your opponent, your partner, whatever, wants to be introduced to games, about how exactly you go about doing that. So, but yes, you know, the missions that come in the Kill Team mission packs are good. If you just want a cool mission, because then you have to do all the rest of the work, right? As someone that's teaching somebody. But yeah, the missions are fun and varied and cool. Where would you rank Typhon against previous KT box sets? In what sense? Typhon as a box? It's good. I like it. I think it's better than Blood and Zeal, 100% in every way. Better than Blood and Zeal, from the miniatures to the amount of kind of just stuff in the box, to the missions, the rules, etc, etc. So I do think that better than Blood and Zeal, 100%. I also think it's better than Brutal and Cunning, although I did like Brutal and Cunning, to be clear. Yeah, I just think it's a better box. I think it's the best box we've had since Hivestorm. So there you go. Harsh but fair, clearly. It's a shame that you don't like 2 APL hitting on Falls teams. They're the only ones that feel like they can give that snarky commentary. So, I agree. However, I do think that if I'm playing a team to So there's lots of teams I want to like that are that. I just don't really. Like, I can play them. Not well, but I can play them. I just, it's not as fun as the game could be, you know? And inevitably, I probably lose to a 3 APL team because that's what I know how to play. Yeah. However, if I'm doing it for snarky commentary, then that's totally fine. I can obviously enjoy the narrative of playing a team, and to the point that, and I've said this before about when I was playing Mordheim very briefly, the worse the team, the better. That's such a better narrative. Being good at something isn't fun. Being terrible at something is a story, you know? Like, yeah, that's just the way narratives work, right? And so, like, as I've said before, in Mordheim, I wanted my models to get taken off the board because I wanted to roll the injury rolls to see what happened to them. Oh, they've got a broken leg, -1 inch move. That's cool. Oh, they've -1 to their ballistic skill because they lost an eye. That is cool, right? Like, those are the things that I really like. I think I just don't understand people that would play Mordheim and be like, oh no, I want to get buffs. I'm like, why? That's not what this game's about, you know. Or like Necromunda, same dealio there. But yeah, there are certainly some games where I can relate to that narrative, like Mordheim, whereas Kill Team doesn't have that, which is fine, obviously. And therefore I struggle to play Kill Team in a way, in the same mindset that I would play Mordheim, you know, where I want my models to die. So there you go. Askus Fell, Galaxy Renowned Archeo Raider. Yes, of course. Someone has actually made rules for solo and co-op play. Yes, that was Maeve, indeed. He's I'm going to use the term amateur, because I believe he is amateur. But you know, he's good at it as a game designer. I know that he's written rules for many other kind of indie games, and it's cool that he turned his hand to some Kill Team solo stuff. So, yeah. Space Marines don't give this boisterous nature unless you count Space Wolves. Yeah, Space Marines are a tough one. Ironically, I think you have to play them very straight, which is funny because they're incredibly gay. But you need a foil to bounce off of, you know. And in just a team of 6 Space Marines, I mean, it's just, how can it not become a circle jerk, right? You know. So I don't know what I would do there. I think perhaps if I were to do another one, Space Marines would be they would have to go against something very, very different. Unless, of course, I just wrote something serious. I could do that as well. It wouldn't be funny, but it would be serious. And that's its own thing, which is good too. Yeah, so that's fine. But yeah. I can't think of any questions about Typhon. Blue, yeah, Typhon has covered most things in your videos. Yeah, Again, I was kind of hoping other people would watch other creators and kind of were going to say, oh yeah, this guy said this. I was like, oh, cool. I hadn't thought of that. But as I say, the ones that I've watched so far, same thoughts as me, or they just read bullet points. And I was like, or the cards. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. So a bit of, is what it is. That was my plan all along, make you break the stream. It worked. Good thing my LGS says reservation, never miss out on anything. Yes, so until very recently, my FLGS did reservations, and now they don't. I don't know why. Because I was 100% going to buy both of those things from them. But the week of the chapter approved, which was the first thing I wanted, they said they're not doing it. Great. Really annoying. MJ... boss fights. I know the Glock clinic on you. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. So the Yeah, sure, the Gloctopus. Oh, I know the name. I can't think of it. I'll call him the Gloctopus. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Blade ones, also cool. Maybe that's going to be the next team that comes out for this Dead Silent thing, right? That'd be sweet. I must have missed it, but are there scenarios where you only use the Typhon terrain? No, Duran. It's all still Volcus based, but for the MPO stuff, you also put down all of the Tyranid terrain, but it's still Volcus. Super happy about getting Hormigans in the box. Couldn't justify buying at full price. Lovely. Lovely. Well, you know, I've seen quite a few people complain about the Hormigans in the box, right? I think if you want Tyranids, it's an amazing box. Yeah. How many Sisters kill teams are we going to get before we actually get a Sisters kill team? The more the better. The more the better. Indeed, the next Sisters will be Sisters of Silence, as opposed to Adeptus Sororitas. So, yeah. How long did it take to film the narrative barrow compared to a normal one? So, I complained about this to my patrons recently, to not prevaricate too much and just throw some numbers out there. A normal battle report that you're about to see this week, which you've seen before on Glass Half Dead. So I have to play the game, and then I have to record the game. Let's just say 2 hours. It's probably longer, but let's say 2 hours. And then I have to edit the game, and that is 2 hours. That's probably it. Because no, it's probably let's say 5 hours. Let's say it takes 6 hours to record my Glass Half Dead battle report. Record from beginning to end. It takes 6 hours to do the a Glass Half Dead battle report. But the key there is that I'm doing a lot of editing tricks, because that's the bulk of the time, editing. But when I'm recording, I'm doing like every trick I can think of to have less editing to actually do. So that's fine. This narrative battle report, no editing tricks. I just played. Obviously, it was solo played, right? But it was all played, and I didn't fake anything. If ever there was a dice thing cut out, it was done, but I would have had to have cut it for time, probably. Not because it wasn't done. But, man, yeah, that was... I really don't know. It took longer, especially had longer to set up, longer to record, longer to film, and then no editing tricks. I just had to edit the entire thing. So I don't even want to think about it, to be honest with you. Way too long. It was at least 2 full working days minimum. So I don't know, 20 hours, 20 man hours probably, I guess, ish. Maybe. Getting pushed from heights like a Necromunda or taking some kind of ST damage hit when you land from jumping would be something I would like to see in KT. That could be cool, yeah. Of course, we had that in Kill Team 2018, and we lost it in this one, which is a shame, because we gained wound counts like you got in Warcry, and that was something that would have been really cool to play with there. And also being able to shoot template weapons. Ooh, now we're talking about Necromunda stuff. Don't know about that. Hey Glass, hope your day is going good. It's going great, Dechard. Thank you. How's your day going? Necromunda is dirty for all the falling off of things that happen. Haha. I've heard they can be exploited hugely. Brother, why have you got a whole barrel of lube? Yes, yes. Ah, yes, the Biologus, Primaris Biologus dude. Right there. Is indeed carrying a whole barrel of lube. Wait, there are other Kill Team creators to watch? Not that I'm aware of, Count Pora, no. I've watched a bunch of creators. I am the only one, though, so they must not be Kill Team creators. Seems to be some consensus. Admech stronger than Nids. Nids look fun, but may struggle in some missions. Yeah, okay. You see? That's why I'm almost a little bit... like, no, guys, if that's what I said, Like, we shouldn't agree. I'm not good enough. You should have better takes than me, guys, you know? Agreed, Joe. Initially, I didn't think we were getting the Hormigans in the box. Silence, Sisters of Silence. Are they in the next team? Let's hope so. Miko, I did a whole video speculating. I literally did a week where I just did 3 speculation and rumor videos, so go check that week out. In the past, we talked about a possible DA kill team coming. The Inner Circle companions do fight in silence. Do they? Interesting. I don't think it's going to be the Inner Circle, but that would be pretty sweet. Why do the Inner Circle fight in silence? That's a long time. Follow-up question for BR then. Would you do it again? Don't know. Probably not. It can all be discovered by going to youtube.com/YouTube tactical skew. I haven't checked the video. I don't know how many views it's got. My guess is not enough. Let's find out. 2k views. I'm not doing it again. There you go. That was easy. I ain't doing that shit for 2,000 views. Jesus. It's like, what, £3? Woo. Money in the bank. Have you had 5? I know I've never tried 5 parsecs from home. I've heard of it. Never tried it. I think the silent will just be Space Marines with their hands over their mouths. Yeah, sure. Sure, I can believe it. Like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, right? Okay, I have to find those videos to be background noise. Yes, definitely. They were only like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I just had to crank out some high view count videos, so I did rumors, because everybody loves them. Cool. Well, everybody, I'm going to stop streaming. There you go. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big... triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds of the world of Glass Half Dead. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the stream. As I always say, this is just a bit of fun for me to catch up with the community. You're not really supposed to be getting any actual information from these. It's just a chilled out chat where we're vaguely talking about hobby, kill team, not painting. Thank you. Alright, Hexmark Destroyer, that's his name. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you with the battle report sometime later this week, and then presumably next Monday on another stream. Jack, I'm playing against you on Friday, so I will see you then. Right, bye everyone, have a good one. See ya, bye.